It has to be said, I don't have quite enough space to strip bikes down, and time is a premium. The biggest takeaway for me in this strip down, clean and rebuild was the shocking amount of loose parts on the bike from the cranks to the cassette. Yes, it's the basics, I know, but I think lots of us are guilty of just wanting to ride. I'm going to be the first to admit that. I'm going to set up some maintenance and ride checklists, I think, based on my fails over the last 12 months. I've been so lucky not to have a bad accident, from having a cracked head tube to cranks coming off the bike on 2 different occasions now.
Okay, so I've cleaned one part of this rear derailleur. You can see I've just added a bit of wet lube underneath this section here as I put it back together. I don't really want any grease on it because that's just going to get clogged up, but just a bit of wet lube just to drive out any water that's there when I put it back together. I can't find my Loctite blue. There's some Loctite red that's been on this, so I've just tried to make sure that it's tightened up well, so I'm not going to have any issues losing it. It should be fine though. I will check around for my Loctite later on. Now it's just time to pull out the other one and give it a similar clean. You can see I can't really easily get to that bit there. You can see all the crud and mud. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so here was the advantage of doing this one first and then putting it back on, is that this rotates out. So if you take both off at once, you can see this thing falls off, and it can, I'm not brilliant with my brain, so I find it easier to do one at a time, but you can see there the inside of what I'm going to clean out to get a bit more smooth running on through the derailleur. Okay, and there we have it. I've cleaned up the derailleur. I'll try and show you. There we go. Nice and clean. No more crud. So hopefully the chain will get less wear, less damage, the derailleur will be flowing smoother, changes will be better. Should have done it ages ago. I'm just going to give the rear end of the frame a bit of a good clean whilst the derailleur's off. Because there's a fair bit of old dirt and grime up in this corner, which is hard to get to unless you take everything off. Okay, so now I'm going to take the cranks off. They're not very tight on. Not very tight on at all. I'm surprised they're even hanging on. Good to maybe do some regular checks on this sort of thing. There's one that's really loose there. I'm doing the pinch bolts first. They're not very tight on. Not very tight on at all. I'm surprised they're even hanging on. Good to maybe do some regular checks on this sort of thing. There's one that's really loose there. Pre-tension cap. They're a bit of a pain, I think. Yeah, a bit horrible. Gives an indication of what might lie beneath the cranks. There we go. So I'll give that a good clean out. It's not horrendous. It looks fairly watertight, a bit gritty. It could do with a clean. I think, yeah, it's not too difficult to spot. See if I can get a camera to focus. But there's a bit of water in there. You can see over the white paste of the grease, but the grease is fairly clean except for these ends. So yeah, there's some water droplets just there. So now I'll take out the bottom bracket, it's threaded bottom bracket on this. Okay, drive side. It's a bit looser. And that's going clockwise to undo on the drive side. As I get a single spacer on the drive side, if I try and remember that. Yeah, that is total gunk city there. See some advantages of taking out your bottom bracket and seeing what's down there. Yeah. Now it's a fairly new bottom bracket, so I don't think it's got any problems, but a good clean will help prevent further damage, hopefully, or any possible damage. Not too bad on the inside of that. That's pretty okay. You can see the inside there. It's alright. So. Okay, so this is the bit that's always key, I suppose, is how freely does this move and what does it sound like? And you can kind of hear that's what it sounds like. So, might need to see what I can do about that. This is the sort of top cap for the bottom bracket bearings, and you can see it's kind of gunky. It is hard plastic, so it's not soft. Now there's a little bit of damage that I've created here, and that might compromise it a little bit. It should be all right, but it's one of those where you kind of have to be vertically down a little bit harder than you think, and then pop it out. It's easy to sort of puncture this. It's not a rubber seal, it's a hard plastic seal, so we'll see how that gets on. Then underneath you got this weather seal above the bearings, and you can see there's a lot of gunk in there, so I'm gonna have to get some degreasant maybe and clean it out and repack the grease in. So we'll give it a clean with a rag and see how it seems. So I've taken off both caps and I've used some rag and also some disc brake cleaner to just get rid of the gunk as much as possible. Now these are rotating reasonably smoothly. I'll repack with grease. I suppose I've not gone the whole hog and pushed this out and taken out the whole thing. I've also noticed when I got it out and started stripping it down that within the frame it looks like it's taken some damage. Now just on the outside of the BB there, so it's not on the thread, but there's a couple of big chunks taken out, so I've got to be thoughtful about maybe replacing this sooner rather than later, maybe. I'm not sure how that's happened. Maybe something's inside the bottom of the frame has just taken a knock, but I'll give the bottom bracket area a good clean inside the frame and stuff, and see. Now I'm going to repack this with grease, put the seals back on, so now that it's clean, you can hear it's a lot less gritty. So we'll get that done, put it back together and do the other side. Okay, so that's the cap back on. I've got some fresh grease. I'll put the top cap back on. It's got the seal on there. Again, that's a hard plastic seal. It's not a soft rubber seal. So pack super much with grease. Hopefully just about the right amount, just to give us a seal. Okay, and there's the slight nick. So, I'm just going to have to be conscious that I might have to get maybe a new seal. You'd probably pick one up on Amazon or eBay or something like that. It looks worse than it probably is. It's just nicked up a bit because it's hard plastic. So online, when they give descriptions about removing this with a sharp implement, it's actually better with maybe a pallet style implement to try and avoid something thin, not too sharp, trying to avoid pushing this up. But ultimately, a lot quieter. Okay, so this time I've used this, which is a little spatula that's come in an electrical toolkit, and this has lifted it off much better this time around. It's less sharp. So I know these say do not disassemble on, but bit of fettling is all right. Hey Kipling, is it toilet break? Toilet break mid servicing? What do you think? Don't be shy. Come on, you've been camera shy. Oh, come on then, let's go. Okay, so dog walking done. Now to finish cleaning the cranks and rebuild the bike. I
had the chain sitting in a degreasant and gave it a good clean with an old t-shirt.
Okay, so I've used a bit of this chill zone from finish line just to try and free some of the chain up. It's not super sticky before, but it was a bit sticky, and now actually that stuff's worked pretty well. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get this off with an Allen key, but I've got my chain whip. And not a very good workbench at these average tools. Okay, that came off really easy, perhaps a little too easy. There we go. Shimano 11-speed cassette off. Give that a good scrub. And then put it back together and maybe have the house tidy in time for the wife coming home.
Hope you enjoyed the strip down. I certainly did. The bike was much better for about 8 hours before it got totally filthy on a 27-mile trip along the canal and roads of Yorkshire. Road grime is definitely far, far worse than fresh muck from the hills. Clings to everything in a horrible, gritty, polluted paste. So please, hit subscribe. See you soon. I'm going to try and get out on the bike more and push my levels. I'm really feeling like I need to do something significant to push my levels up. So, see you soon.